Well, you didn't think we'd be doing this now, would you? TGIF, thank God it's Friday. Hello, hi, how are you doing out there in internet land? My name is Brian Trippett. I am known as the Front Porch Conservative, and this is Chattin on the Porch, a small little gathering of conversationalists and newsies from around the internet who get together on this thing we call the electronic front porch. We hang out, we talk about the things we find out there in the news. We give our views, we laugh, we cry, do a little of both in some cases, drink if necessary, but we do find a way to get through it all. And do we ever get through it all? No, we got a lot to get through. We're on Rumble, we're on Twitter, and we are on that quaint little alternative social media platform known as a YouTube. So please give a thumbs up. Please share the link. Please subscribe to the channel. I would love to have y'all here as members of the greatest audience in the internet, Fedora Nation. Again, my name is Brian Trippett. I am the Front Porch Conservative. I am known by some as the beau in the chapeau. I am sometimes referred to as the fine fella in the fedora. On occasion, you also get the wise guy in the wide brim. But I am, above all those titles, one most important of all, your host. Again, we're on Rumble, we are on Twitter, and we are on YouTube. So please, tell your friends, share the link, hit the thumbs up, leave some comments, do all those things that you guys do so well every time we get together. You guys are the best audience on the internet, hands down, no doubt about it. Some of them may be bigger, some of them may be a lot of things, but they're not you. They are not Fedora Nation. Oh, goodness. So glad you guys are here with us tonight. We're going to get into that, Robert. I saw your comment, brother. I saw that comment. But we will be talking about that and so many other things. So many other things. Oh, this is going to be good. Anyway, waiting for that. There it goes. Timing is everything. Got to talk to the band leader there. We got to get in better coordination about how we end that up. But anyway, so good to have you guys here, and thank you guys for stopping in on a Friday night. I know there's a lot of different things going on and activities out there for everybody to be involved in. So glad you're here. Oh goodness, let's see who's in the house so far. Over on Rumble, WWG1 is here. Oh yeah, okay. We definitely might want to talk about that. Yeah. If that's the ad I think it is, I will definitely add that to the list of topics to get into this evening. Yes, indeed. Let me add that to the list of topics to get into this evening. What? Stop it! Don't do that to me. How dare you? Oh goodness, what did I just do here? Hang on, I got to figure out what the heck. WWG1 posted something over on the Rumble side in chat, and I got to... Okay, that's more like it. Okay. We will get to that momentarily. I think I got a good spot to put that. Okay. All right, sorry about that. Oh, my word. Forgive me, ladies and gentlemen. We're being visited by someone that I have been. How do I want to explain this to you, my audience? We have been bantering back and forth in a very mature, flirtatious sort of way, and she just dropped in. Good evening, Miss Courtney. Welcome to the electronic. Well, TBA asks, is she an adoring fan? Well, I don't know if she adores me yet or not, but I think we're definitely fans of each other. I'm almost sure. I'm almost sure of that. There's a growing mutual respect. Is she a future ex-Mrs. Fedora? No. Now, look, don't you guys start rumors over there, okay? Bless her heart. This poor girl is just coming here for the first time. Don't scare her to death. My word. Egads, y'all are just awful. No, it's not Lauren Boebert. Her name is Courtney, okay? And I could make a pretty good argument. She's probably built better than Lauren Boebert. Thank you very much. But I'll be a gentleman and not go there. So there you go. Which, by the way, Courtney, refresh my memory. Don't you have a live stream tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern? Because if you do, I'll go and I will. You know what? I got an even better idea. Hang on a minute, dear. I am going to do something that I very rarely ever do. But you know what? The moment calls for it, and daggone it, sometimes you just gotta take the bull by the horn. Hang on a second, folks. Courtney, I just sent you something. It's on Twitter, and you're under no obligation to do anything with it. But you know what? This is one of those what the hell moments. Anyway, do with it as you will. And if you don't want to do a thing with it, you're not going to offend me in the slightest. But Courtney has a live stream tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern on her channel. Matter of fact, I can do you one better than that. I can't believe I didn't think to do that. And apologies, folks. Just only take me 1 second here. Yep, there it is. Like I say, the young lady made the effort to drop in tonight, and she was very kind about doing it. And you know what? I'm going to try and return the kindness. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. There we go. I'm dropping a link in chat for Courtney's live stream that she's doing tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. Okay. So Courtney is a load of fun. You know, definitely has a great sense of humor. Check her out. She's got a YouTube channel started. She is fun, vivacious. You know, help that young lady out. She is just an absolute wonderful person. So there you go. TBA says, "Oh my, is that what she looks like?" Well, what do you mean? Is that what she looks like? Gee, that's kind of TBA. What the heck, dude? Much better than Lauren Boebert. Wait a minute! Don't you start! Don't you start! Oh my gosh! Yeah, it's just y'all are just. Oh, okay, okay, no problem. All right, hang on. Okay, sorry about that, folks. Yeah, well, you're very welcome. You're very, very welcome. Yeah, and Courtney, you know, you're welcome here anytime you want. If you just want to hang out and chat and just kind of lurk, that's cool. If you want to, you know, participate and chat by dropping in some comments, totally cool too. Whatever's up to you. You are welcome here anytime you wish. You know, so yeah. Welcome to Fedora Nation, darling. Anyway, all right, cool. All right. See, I'm worth beautiful women. I get distracted and just it's all gone. Which, you know, yeah, never mind. Anyway, you guys know my foibles and weaknesses, my kryptonites. All right, let's get down to business. Since it's a Friday night and you guys have better things to do than to hang out with me. Aw. Anyway, and Courtney, I will make it a point to swing by your live stream tonight, dear. So anyway, no WWG1. I saw the comment. I'm not ignoring it. You know, I'm not ignoring the comment. I'm just not going to repeat it. All right. Well, you know, it's like I said, beautiful woman. What can I tell you? I just fall apart. It's like, you know, it's getting warm in here. Daggone it. All right. All right. Let's get down to business. Enough of my foolishness. Okay. First of all, thank you guys so much for being here on a Friday night. Like I said, there's high school football going on probably in your area. There may be some college games on tonight, and you're here, and I genuinely do appreciate it. I really, really do. Now, as to last night, my great nephew played baseball, lost by 1 run. Oh. And I love watching him play because he's got the potential. He's 8 years old. He has got the potential. If he keeps his head screwed on straight and he really keeps developing as a young athlete, he's going to be something. He is cat quick. He's fast. He really is. And he's starting to get really good hand-eye coordination. A lot of fun and a lot of fun to watch. But, and he's really just a joy. He really is a good kid. And I got to see some of that ball game and hang out with my family afterwards and all that good stuff. So good times indeed. So yeah, just a load of fun, just an absolute load of fun. And gave me a little chance to catch up on some news and some things we're going to talk about tonight. So this is going to be kind of a nice chill stream. I've got 2 or 3 things I want to really get into tonight. We'll get into some more stuff tomorrow morning on Front Porch Brunch. So yeah, lots to do. All right. Now I'm getting myself back on track here. Okay, we're going to start the show tonight, as we usually are a wont to do, with the Merry Memes section of the show, which is going to kind of feed into one of our topics for later on, a little bit later on. And this one's not necessarily a pure meme, but it's got to be one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And by the way, a hat tip to Benny Johnson. I don't know if Benny's ever going to see this or not, but this is definitely a big thank you to him. Now, since we are about to enter the spooky season here in about really 2 weeks now, I guess is officially we can say it, people get all kinds of ideas for what they want to do in their front yard as far as decorations for Halloween. Well, Benny found somebody who's done something fairly unique. They've managed to mix the spooky season with the political season. And I tell you what, this is absolutely priceless. Folks, as always, give me a sound check. Let me know if I'm okay here, but check this out from Benny Johnson.
Just let them know that we have a finite amount of time on this planet, and you could be viciously mediocre, or you could get the fuck after it.
Wait a minute, 10 toes in when we standing on business. I'm a big stepper, underground methods, top-notch.
I got to take some volume down on that one before the YouTube overlords get a little bit. Look at that. Is that not one of the most hysterical things you have ever seen? Lord have mercy. That is great. So, like I say, hat tip to Benny Johnson. I'm trying to remember if I found that one or if Gypsy or Midmo sent it to me. But yeah, that is absolutely great. Matter of fact, while I'm thinking about this right now, okay. While I'm thinking about this right now, I'm dropping that in chat on both sides. And if you guys want to look at that later or share it with friends, absolutely feel free to do it. You know my rule. If I bring something to you guys, I definitely think I'm all about, hey, do with it what you want, share it, try it out, look at it. There you go. So there's that. All right, moving on in the Merry Memes section. We came across this one, and I got to thank Gypsy for this one. I do have to thank Gypsy. As it is the fall of the year, there's still a lot of barbecuing going on, by the way. Okay, barbecuing is not exclusively a summertime activity. Now, I'll make the argument that actually it's better, or I should say, it's more fun to barbecue in the fall. Because, let's think about it for a second. You have tailgating, high school football tailgating, college football tailgating. If you go to NFL games, you still got tailgating too. And you're always trying to find, new ideas for things to cook. Well, at any tailgate, obviously, what's some of the things you're doing? Well, not necessarily steak, but you're making a lot of hamburgers and in some cases hot dogs. Now, the hot dog is a truly underappreciated form of food. Really? Well, let me rephrase that. It's not necessarily underappreciated, but it doesn't take the prominence that it used to. But that said, even though it is underappreciated and doesn't quite have the prominence among other barbecued foods, there are still many different ways to prepare a hot dog. And cities around the country still take pride in how they prepare a hot dog. I mean, for example, you got the Chicago way of preparing a hot dog. I mean, look at that. You got a full pickle, you got peppers, you got tomatoes in a hot dog. You got a New York hot dog, which is sauerkraut and mustard. You got a Miami hot dog. Look at that. And then you got the Springfield. Oh my God. What the hell? That's not a hot. Oh my. Okay, maybe we better take that one down. Look, y'all in Springfield. Ain't no way. I'd be, TBA asked the question, is that a real dog? Well, is it a real dog? Okay, look, I hate to steal something from Fox News, but we report, you decide. Okay? Is it a real dog? Again, we report, you decide. Okay? Just saying. WWG1 says, looks more like a hamster. Oh, God. Y'all are absolutely awful. Absolutely awful over there on Rumble. You guys are terrible. Terrible, I say. No wonder you guys have earned the nickname the Wingnuts. Jeez. Yeah, dear, exactly. Hide your puppies, hide your kitties. They eating everything up here. Mm-hmm. You ain't wrong, sister. You ain't wrong. Which, by the way, that meme is going to lead into another one of our subjects tonight. So there you go. What else have we got in the Merry Meme section? Oh, by the way, you've heard about President Trump's new proposal to eliminate all taxes on overtime pay, which, by the way, bring it on, dude. Do you know? I mean, look, I have got a ton of friends and have had a ton of friends over the years that have worked in various occupations, particularly hourly employees, is what I'm thinking of, or what I'm trying to spit out here. And could you imagine the kind of money they could have made over the years? Because these guys worked hard all their lives. They put in ghastly, and I mean ghastly amounts of hours of overtime. Okay. Could you imagine how much better their lives might have been financially if they hadn't had to be taxed on that overtime? Well, apparently the significance of Trump's proposal is sinking in, and Kamala is getting apparently quite nervous about this. So she's asking one of her staff, can we copy that plan? Vice President Harris, I got bad news for you, dear. You can try and copy that one, but I don't think anyone's going to buy it. Yeah. TBA over on Rumble says, I could actually retire if I got my whole paycheck. Dude, couldn't we all? Couldn't we not all? Jeez, ain't that the truth? So, yeah, she's getting a little bit nervous about this. WWG1 says, small step from no tax on tips and overtime to abolishing the IRS. Dude, you ain't getting any argument from me on that idea, okay? I have said for years, I want a flat tax. I want a flat tax, maybe 2 or 3 deductions to make it politically palatable. And after that, get rid of most, if not all, of the IRS, because you don't need it anymore. The Treasury should be able to handle sufficiently whatever we do as far as an income tax, if we even still have one. TBA says, no taxes. Again, I ain't disagreeing with you on that one, dude. Not in the slightest. Not in the slightest. Oh, you don't even want a flat tax? Okay. All right. All right. Anyway, so yeah, old Kamala's getting worried about the overtime proposal. And with that in mind, that kind of leads us to some. I think Gypsy at the top of the chat said more fallout from the debate. Ooh, man, it's getting bad out there. Okay, it's getting really bad. So bad, in fact, that I've got an article here, and Gypsy, I believe, was the one that forwarded this to me. So hat tip to the lady. But have you guys seen this? Headline: ABC loses $27 million in advertising after the debate fallout. Quote, won't be hosting any debates in the future. Well, gee, I wonder why. Let's read this thing. It's written by Alex Bruno, and we've got the following. In a development that can only be described as peak 2024 chaos, ABC has found itself $27 million poorer after 5 major advertisers in the wake of the latest presidential debate. They've lost them. The network, once a beacon of impartiality and trusted news, is now left clutching its pearls and its bank account after an explosive evening of real-time fact-checking, heated exchanges, and the collapse of corporate goodwill. In a move no one saw coming, except maybe the Twitterverse, ABC declared, quote, we won't host any debates in the future. Because when the cost of political discourse is 5 major sponsors and millions in ad revenue, it's clear that democracy is just too expensive. It all started innocently enough. ABC took on the mammoth task of hosting a presidential debate featuring Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, hoping to maintain some semblance of decorum while showcasing 2 of the most polarizing political figures in the country. But instead of providing the spectacle advertisers paid handsomely for, ABC's moderators, David Muir and Lindsay Davis, did something truly outrageous. They started fact-checking, which, by the way, a slight aside, but I've got to put this one in. I don't know if you guys saw this story, but talking about the fact-checking, John Solomon over at Just the News has got this story. ABC moderator Lindsay Davis admits fact-checking Trump was because of the previous debate. The ABC anchor noted on Wednesday that the corrections were because neither CNN's moderators pushed back on the inaccurate statements during the first debate against Biden. This article is written by Misty Severi. Excuse me, I attributed it to John Solomon, but it should be her. ABC host Lindsay Davis, who was one of the network's 2 moderators in Tuesday night's presidential debate, admitted this week that her decision to fact-check former President Donald Trump was because of the lack of fact-checking in June's debate. Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris had their first showdown on Tuesday in Philadelphia, but the former president and President Joe Biden debated earlier this year in Atlanta. The first debate was hosted by CNN. Davis, who moderated the debate alongside David Muir, has been accused of appearing biased in the fact-checking after a report found that Trump was corrected approximately 5 times by both moderators, and Harris was only fact-checked once. However, Davis did push Harris on her tendency to flip-flop her views on certain issues. The ABC anchor also noted on Wednesday that the corrections were because neither CNN moderator pushed back on inaccurate statements during the first debate against Biden. Quote, people were concerned that statements were just allowed to hang and not be disputed by the candidate Biden at that time or the moderators, Davis told the Los Angeles Times. Davis added that she and Muir did not catch every misstatement, but they prepared by dividing debate topics to study and practice through table reads that where they rehearsed their questions with producers and got feedback. Davis is most known in the debate for fact-checking Trump on abortion, where she told the former president that, quote, there is no state in the country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born. The comment has prompted outcry from the right, including a pro-life group calling ABC News to correct the record, arguing Davis's statements are inaccurate because they have not been documented cases where babies are born alive after a failed abortion attempt only to die because they were not given any life-saving care. Now, yeah, and this is a good point too. They're sorority sisters, and this is one thing that the Misty Severi's article doesn't mention. They are members of the same sorority at Howard University. So, I mean, Okay, I want to get into this stuff just for a brief aside. I want to get into the subject of fact checking. Okay. If David Muir and Lindsay Davis's performance did indeed cost ABC News 5 major advertisers and $25 million, which I'm not saying that article that we were reading a moment ago was wrong. If it did cost them, then it's their own fault, which kind of goes to something else. Why is it the responsibility of a debate moderator to fact check either one or both of the people in the debate? Let me ask the question again. Why is it the responsibility of the moderators to fact check anybody? Isn't that the job of the other person in the debate? I mean, if Donald Trump stands up there and opens his mouth and for the 2 minutes he's speaking does nothing but lie, it's Kamala Harris's responsibility to fact check him. The moderator is there to do just that. Moderate the terms of the debate. Make sure that the terms that were agreed to are adhered to by both parties. That's it. Yeah, according to Misty Severi, according to the LA Times, yeah, that's exactly what they did. They sat down with producers at ABC News, went over the questions that they were going to ask Trump and Harris, and they were absolutely figuring out how to fact check one or both of them. Hang on a second, folks. All right. Okay. So yeah. So if they cost them $25 million, it's their own fault. And frankly, given the piss poor job that Muir and Davis did the other night, yeah, well, this is probably true too. They were told what to do. They were being obedient. Very much so. But yeah, matter of fact, I want to go back to that article from SpaceX Mania. Let me finish some of this. Okay, talking about the advertisers. The aftermath was swift. Within hours of the debate wrapping up, advertisers began pulling out faster than a politician dodging a tough question, which, by the way, we've got a clip here in a minute. It's going to make you guys laugh. One by one, they started distancing themselves from the event, and soon it became clear that ABC was in serious financial trouble. The first to jump ship was a luxury car brand that spends millions promoting their latest SUV in a primetime commercial. We didn't pay for political correctness, said a spokesperson who asked to remain anonymous. We paid for drama, controversy, and high ratings. Fact-checking isn't good for one's business. Next, a major fast food chain followed suit, declaring our customers don't come to us for the truth. They come to us for burgers and fries. We don't need real-time fact-checking ruining their appetite. By the end of the week, 5 major advertisers, including a high-end fashion label and a beverage giant, had canceled their contracts, leaving ABC with a gaping $27 million hole in its budget. For a network accustomed to cushy ad revenue, this was nothing short of a financial catastrophe. So yeah, actions do have consequences, and apparently ABC is feeling a absolute crap pile of them, or let's better say $25 million worth. Now, I titled this evening's live stream, or I should say the subtopics. One of them was Kamala's big problem. Okay. Now, I want to take you guys back to something. The very first question of the debate was directed to Kamala Harris, and David Muir asked her, are the American people better off now than they were 4 years ago? Guys, Kamala has one very, very big problem. Don't get me wrong. She's got a whole lot of them in my book, but she's got one above all else. She can't answer that question. Well, let me rephrase that. She can't answer it or won't answer it. We'll figure that out. I've got a feeling she doesn't want to answer it. But I want to show you something that Jake Tapper put together and this has made its way around the internet, so I'm not necessarily showing you anything new, but it does serve as the basis of some discussion tonight. So with that, do me a favor and check this out.
Vice President Harris began the debate by punting the first question on the economy.
Do you believe Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago?
So I was raised as a middle-class kid, and I am actually the only person on this stage who has a plan that is about lifting up the middle class and working people of America.
It went on from there. Despite the economy being the number one issue facing the country, the sitting vice president generally reverted to talking points about a few of her policy proposals. Even Harris allies today are saying that she needs to talk more about what she will do for Americans if elected.
Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about that here in just a minute, because Kamala did talk to a reporter today. Shocking, I know. Oh, but believe me, when you see this, I don't know whether you're going to feel sorry for her or you're going to say it's what she deserves. But I said that Kamala's got a very big problem. It's this. She can't answer that question. The legendary question, the Reagan question, are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? She can't do it. And when I say she can't do it, it's not that she doesn't have the ability to articulate words and form sentence. Well, okay, maybe that's a problem too. But my smart alecky answer aside, you get my point. After 4 years of what she and Joe Biden have done to the economy, high inflation, less purchasing power with your hard-earned dollar, okay? Supply chains that are just screwed up royally. Problem after problem after problem in the economy. There is no way that she can legitimately look at people and say, the economy is so much better off. And that's the other part of it that I find just fascinating, okay? She keeps saying, I'm going to fix the things that are wrong on day one. I know that inflation is hurting you. Well, wait a minute. Hold it, Kamala. That doesn't make any sense. For 3.5 years, you've been telling everybody the economy's great. You've been telling everybody that Bidenomics works. You've been telling everybody that the stuff that you and Joe Biden have done makes perfect sense. But now you're trying to tell everybody that on day one, I'll get in there and I'll fix inflation. Huh? What? Huh? She can't answer the question, because if she tries to answer the question, she betrays what is going on. Okay, exactly. Oh, I know, this is absolutely true too. Absolutely true. Oh yeah, I absolutely agree. I didn't find it sarcastic. It's that smarmy, smug attitude of these people. Okay, your job, David, is not to find anything sarcastic or not. Just moderate the debate. Just do your job, enforce the rules. You get 2 minutes, you get 1 minute to respond. Microphones are cut off. You ask your questions. You let one side fact check the other. You're not supposed to be fact checking anybody. Just do your job. Yeah, inflation is down. Yeah, down in my wallet and drilling a hole in my belly when I can't go to the grocery store and buy the food I need to feed myself. That's how much inflation's down. So's my dollar, so's my job, so's my everything. Yeah, this is the problem she's got. She cannot answer that question. But it's not just an answer that she really has no rational answer for the question. It's also an issue she can't answer it. Now, when I say she can't answer it, people are she's only done a handful of interviews. Okay. She's done the Dana Bash interview on CNN, which was very meh. And she's done the debate with Trump. Now, after the debate with Trump, okay, the campaign announced that she would start doing more interviews, and she would be doing them by herself. Okay. Makes sense. I get it. Sounds like a good idea. And she'd be doing it with local media. Okay, that makes sense too. I understand that. Well, she did just that today. Kamala Harris did an interview with a reporter from a news station in Philadelphia. Hang on just one second here. I've got to find the exact name of this. I had it a moment ago and I took it down, and that's on me. It was a station out of Philly, and give me a second, I'll have the name of it here. It was, WPVI, okay? WPVI out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So it was a local station, local reporter, okay? The young man who did the interview was actually, he's the anchor. I'm sorry, I take that back. He's the anchor. His name is Brian Taff, okay? Z Highness is here over on the Rumble side. Good evening, Z Highness. How are you, darling? So she did this interview with Brian Taff of WPVI. Okay. It's a sit-down interview, one-on-one. Guys, I'm going to play this clip. I'm not even going to set it up beyond what I've just said. This runs about 1:22. I've got 2 clips from the interview, okay? This is the first one. I'm going to play this without interruption, okay? And then I want your reaction to it, okay? I'll tell you what I think about it, but I really want to get your guys' take on this, okay? So with that, as always, give me a sound check, and here we go.
Wonder if there are 1 or 2 spots, policy areas, or approaches where you would say, I'm a different person.
Well, I'm obviously not Joe Biden. And, I offer a new generation of leadership. And so, for example, thinking about developing and creating an opportunity economy where it's about investing in areas that really need a lot of work, and maybe focusing on, again, the aspirations and the dreams, but also just recognizing that at this moment in time, some of the stuff we could take for granted years ago, we can't take for granted anymore. For example, another plan that I have that is a new approach is to expand the child tax credit to $6,000 for young families for the first year of their child's life, because that is obviously a very critical stage of development of a child. And a lot of young parents need the help to buy a car seat or a crib or clothes for their kids. And so my approach is about new ideas, new policies that are directed at the current moment. And also, to be very honest with you, my focus is very much in what we need to do over the next 10, 20 years to
Wonder if there
All right, I want to play the question again just one more time, and then I want to get you guys' reaction to this, okay? And here we go.
there are 1 or 2 spots, policy areas, or approaches where you would say, I'm a different person.
Okay. Now, Brian Taff asks her a very, very straightforward question. Very straightforward. I wonder if there are 1 or 2 policy proposals that say I'm a different person. Now, frankly, that seems like a very reasonable question, and it's been one of the biggest knocks against Kamala ever since she got into this thing. People have been saying, why does she not tell us what she wants to do? Okay, I mean, for the first 40-something days of her candidacy. Okay, first 40-something days of her candidacy, that woman didn't have a single solitary policy proposal on her website. Okay, not one. When she finally did put them up there, it was the night before the debate with Donald Trump, and she basically copied and pasted everything off of Joe Biden's website. There have been people who are internet snoopers, and they're like, yeah, they lifted this straight off of Joe's website. I mean, literally, the meta tags are there. I mean, these guys are way more techie than I am. So, I mean, I'm probably not even using the right terminology, but they know exactly what they're talking about. And this has been widely reported. She basically copied and pasted everything off Joe's site. And the policy proposal she has put out there, expansion of the child tax credit, no tax on tips, a $25,000 credit if you're buying a house, has been so redoundingly criticized. Yeah, she's still talking about them, but the legs have been the legs have been chopped out from under them. Because every time she talks about them, everybody points out how bad of an idea it is. And now you got a reporter asking a very straightforward question, and she can't answer it. The one thing she did, expand the child tax credit, but listen to the justification, because I know that, young mothers need help, buying things like car seats and things like that. Lady, it's not just confined to young women or young mothers. Everybody needs help buying something. And the issue is this: the child tax credit that you're talking about is nothing more than a Band-Aid. It's not addressing the issue. The reason that people can't afford anything is because of the damned inflation that you helped bring in. May I remind you, Madam Vice President, that you were the one that voted for the Inflation Reduction Act. You were the one that helped set the inflation spiral in motion when you helped Joe Biden get that bad boy through the Senate at the crack of midnight, whatever hour of the day it was when you did it. And now, ignoring the fact that you're responsible for it, because if you acknowledge the fact you're responsible for it, then that's going to sink your candidacy worse than what it already is. You're Band-Aiding over the problem. Yeah, it should have been called the Inflation Hyperbolic Act, according to TBA over on Rumble, and I agree with him completely. Yeah, I mean, what is she even saying here? Good question. This interview, and I will tell you straight up, I have not seen all of this, okay? I have not seen all of it. But if this interview is anything like the two clips that I'm showing you right now, Kamala has reverted back to word salad. She's reverted back to answering a question by not answering it. Well, I'm focusing on the dreams and aspirations, and I'm trying to make policy for the next 20 years. To borrow one of my favorite phrases from social media, what the hell is even that? What does that mean? Midmo says, again, there's no real way to reinforce what she's about without making herself like a complete... Exactly. Completely true. She wants to do a thing, but won't talk about the thing. Just wants you to trust her as if... Bingo. The great irony, it hit me the other day, and if I've said this on the stream, forgive me in advance, but this hit me the other day. The great irony of this last 50 days is that the woman who caused the problems is now trying to convince you and me and everybody else in America that she's the one that can fix the problem she caused. There are moments I wish I could get in somebody's head on stage in a debate. In this case, Donald Trump's, because I'd have loved to put that from his brain through his mouth, because that would have been the line that just would have killed her right there, among others. Yeah, a phrase, latent communism. Agreed. Yeah, and Robert, you and Miss Courtney apparently are on the same wavelength. Oh my word. Oh, bless your heart. And I am not saying that to be a smart ass. Bless your heart. That's awful. That is absolutely awful. And the thing is, everybody across America has stories just like this. I take my money, I've earned my paycheck, I've paid my bills, I've got some money left, I go to the store and I try to buy as much as I possibly can, but I can't make the rest of my money go as far as it once did. How many people have you heard say that very thing? How many times have we heard say it to ourselves? Believe me, when I'm talking to me, myself, and I, that topic comes up quite frequently. And yes, I freely admit to talking to myself. I'm the only one left to listen. No, I'm just kidding. let's put it this way. I get fewer arguments when I talk to myself than I do when I talk to other people. But you know where I'm coming from. I mean, I'll give you an example from my own personal life. I went to Kroger last night and hadn't been to the grocery store in a while. Oh, be quiet over there, WWG1. Just anyway. He says, "Did you say something, Brian?" Shut up. Love you. I still love you, you smart ass. Anyway, no, I went to Kroger last night after visiting with my family and watching my great nephew play baseball. And I had an amount of money, and I didn't really think I was buying a lot of things, although I came out pretty good. But there were a couple of items I had to turn them back because they just didn't fit in my budget at that moment. You know. Now, fortunately, I mean, full disclosure, I got paid today. I could go back, tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon and get the items I had to leave behind. But it really, I mean, and everybody's going through this. I'm not trying to make myself some kind of special case here, but it really, really hit home. I wanted to buy these two items, and it wasn't anything extravagant. I'll tell you what they were. It was a bag of apples and a bottle of wine. Did I need the wine? Well, probably not. Well, then again, I'm trying to survive Kamala Harris for the next 50 days. I probably need to get sloshed. But you get my point. It's nothing extravagant. And again, with the money that I had, I was able to buy quite a few things. So in that respect, I'm blessed. But how many people are going through that sort of thing? They're trying to figure out, okay, can I buy this? Well, I guess not. Well, okay, I'll settle for this. It's heartbreaking to watch. And like I said, the supreme irony, the woman who wants to tell you she's got the answers is the very person who caused the problems. And then when she's asked about, well, can you give me one or two things that tell me, that you're a different person? Which again, local reporter in a major city, he's asking her this question and she can't answer it. Either she can't answer it because she doesn't know, or she doesn't want you to find out. And this, and I'm going to say something here that's not necessarily original to me, but there's a lot of people who are coming to this conclusion. I had my criticisms of the way Donald Trump handled the debate the other night. Okay. And I think they were legitimate criticisms. I don't think I said anything out of school, and I don't think I said anything that was necessarily wrong. But the thing that I didn't realize was, for as bad as I thought Donald Trump was doing in that debate, which again, he did. I like the guy, but I'm not going to lie to you guys, my audience. But as bad as I thought he did, Kamala was doing worse, but I didn't realize it at the time. Part of the reason the undecided voters in whatever focus group you're talking about, be it Reuters or CNN or NBC or CBS, the reason that undecided voters are swinging to Trump post-debate, they tuned in, and again, not necessarily original to me, but it's a really good thought. They tuned in to find out if they could vote for Kamala Harris, but in order for them to decide if they could do it, they had to find out why they could vote for Kamala Harris. And that's the problem. She never gave them the why. She never gave a justification for herself. She made the debate about Trump. And the thing is, love him, hate him, lukewarm about him, doesn't matter. After almost 10 years in the political spotlight, hey, you know what you're getting with Donald Trump. Her job in that debate was to tell people, she says, I want to move on to a new form of politics. Okay, then give me, if I'm an undecided voter, give me the justification why I should do it. Why should I take a chance with you, the devil I don't know versus the devil I know? She didn't do it. And it gets even worse. That was just one clip from this interview with that TV station out of Philly. Oh my God, you got to see this next one. Okay. Again, let me set this up. I will play this uninterrupted. Okay. So with that, it runs about a minute and a half, and some of this may overlap. So if you get some of it from the last clip, my apologies. But here's another clip from that interview with that Brian Taff from that TV station in Philadelphia.
When we talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people, what are one or two specific things you have in mind for that?
Okay, now that question's great. Okay. What is the biggest issue facing Americans right now? And we've been talking about it in chat. I've been talking about it here. You guys are talking about it, around your kitchen tables and your houses. I can't afford to buy all the things I was once able to afford to buy. Inflation's eaten me alive. So this reporter in a major city, representing a big block of people, asks the person who wants to be president of the United States, who needs their votes, one or two things would you do to help bring down costs? It's a reasonable, straightforward question. He didn't stutter. He didn't use big words. He didn't say something that no one could understand what he was saying. He asked a simple, straightforward question. What one or two things would you do? Ladies and gentlemen, listen to the answer.
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid. My mother raised my sister and me. She worked very hard. She was able to finally save up enough money to buy our first house when I was a teenager. I grew up in a community of hardworking people, construction workers and nurses and teachers. And I try to explain to some people who may not have had the same experience, but a lot of people will relate to this. I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn, and I was raised to believe and to know that all people deserve dignity, and that we as Americans have a beautiful character. We have ambitions and aspirations and dreams, but not everyone necessarily has access to the resources that can help them fuel those dreams and ambitions. So when I talk about building an opportunity economy, it is very much with the mind of investing in the ambitions and aspirations and the incredible work ethic of the American people, and creating opportunity for people, for example, to start a small business.
She never answered the question. That woman took about a minute 10 and said nothing. Not a thing. Well, I don't know the answer to this question, but however many she had was too many. And if it was only one for her, that's too many. If that's her answer, probably a half a bottle is probably half a bottle. Hell, she probably went through bottle and a half. Who are you kidding? Oh my God, this is awful. This is absolutely awful. Yeah, okay, let's talk body language for a second. I hadn't intended to get into this subject, but let's just talk about it. I have said all along, we are dealing with Kamala Harris in a woman who is desperately insecure. She really is. This woman is just dreadfully insecure. She tries to hide it with the laughs and the whatever else and the, which again, nothing against people who imbibe. Lord knows I have on occasion. Never mind my stories. We'll leave it at that. Never mind misspent youth. But you get my point. She doesn't project strength. She does not project confidence. She does not project power. She just doesn't. Look, I disagree with this woman profoundly on so many different levels. Do I have any hatred for her? No, I don't. I want to see her political ass get kicked all the way from here to Kalamazoo and back, but I don't hate the woman. The criticisms that I have of her are purely on questions of policy, and frankly, some of the way she's managed to get to where she is, which to me is not evidence of someone who works hard and has integrity, but we'll leave all that aside, okay? She's being asked a straightforward question. She won't answer it. I mean, who was it said word salad a minute ago? Was it, hang on, I got to find this. Was it, no, I think it's over on the Rumble side. Hang on. Yeah, TBA, another word salad. So predictable. Yeah. Well, you know, that's an interesting theory. That's possible. Yeah, exactly. This is an absolutely great point. You may hate Hillary's guts, but at least she could tell you what she wanted to do. You may not have agreed with the things that she wanted to do, but you could at least figure out what the heck she was wanting to do. I mean, this is terrible. I mean, look, I'll never forget this. Back in October last year, there was some serious conversation being kicked around D.C. Should Kamala Harris be dropped off the ticket? Okay. Should she be dropped off the ticket? That's how much the Democrats just had no respect for her or her political ability. And part of it was she couldn't give a good interview. I mean, the real early on in the administration, that disastrous interview with Lester Holt of NBC News. You guys know the clip I'm talking about. Well, you haven't been to the southern border, says Lester Holt. And she says, well, I've never been to Europe either. I don't understand your point. It's that, and it's starting to happen. It's starting to unravel. You put her out there by herself in an uncontrolled situation with the press, because keep in mind, right now, up to this point, Dana Bash of CNN, that's it. That is the only major televised interview she has done. She knows what she's getting with CNN, okay? She knows exactly what she's getting. Dana Bash has interviewed her before. Matter of fact, I don't have it pulled up, but if you guys care to remember, the legendary, you were the last person in the room with Joe Biden, a major decision has been made on Afghanistan. You're the last person in the room with Joe Biden. You feel comfortable with this? She's like, absolutely. Dana Bash. So Kamala knows what she's getting with Dana Bash. Now Kamala's going to start going out with local TV reporters. Guys, I'll make you a prediction right now. What you just saw with this Brian Taff of ABC News 6, WPVI out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, this is what you're going to see between now and the election. She gets some local reporters, be they TV or newspaper, they get a hold of her. Man, you're going to have word freaking salad all over the damn place with her. I am telling you, she can't talk. Oh, she can say words and they sound like the English language, but as far as any kind of semblance of rational thought, you ain't getting it. You'll get platitudes. You'll get word phrases. You'll get all kinds of stuff, but you will not get answers to questions. God, wouldn't I love to see somebody like a John Cass or a Seymour Hersh or just name an old timer among reporters. Okay. And when I say old timers, I'm talking about guys who are dead. Bob Novak, Tim Russert. Yeah, I know I'm showing my age here, but you get my point. I mean, I'm talking about somebody that would get a hold of this lady and just go at it, just put their teeth into her like a junkyard dog. Edward Bernays. Edward Bernays. There's one. I've got to admit, I'm not familiar with the name Edward Bernays. I've heard it, but I couldn't tell you that much about him. But you're getting my point here. She gets a hold of a real reporter. This woman's sunk. And trust me, these are just two clips from the interview. Wait till this gets around the internet, and you know it will. If the Trump people haven't already got a hold of this yet, I'll be shocked. Oh my God. Her debate performance the other night and answers like that. And by the way, I got to put this one up here because who was it? I want to say it was Midmo that sent this to me. Thank you, Midmo, by the way. Apparently, Trump and his people have a new ad out. And this one's pretty good. And it's based off of the debate the other night. Watch this.
My plan is to give a $50,000 tax deduction to startup small businesses. But we've got to increase the corporate tax rate. State taxes are going to have to go up. I believe in the ambition, the aspirations, the dreams of the American people.
I will snatch their patent so that we will take over. The question is, do you have the will to do it? I have the will to do it.
The cost of housing is too expensive for far too many people.
Bidenomics is working. It's working. It's a term we're very proud of, I must tell you.
I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies. Now, I will tell you the one thing you will not hear him talk about is you.
It was hardworking patriots like you who built this country, and it's hardworking patriots like you who are going to save our country. I want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Bye, Daddy. My love, you must.
Sorry. Man, I get on one of these rolls and I sometimes forget what I've done. Yeah, sorry, Robert. My bad. Yeah, okay. I'm back. Guys, I'm cool. Yeah, I'd love to see Megyn Kelly get a crack at this lady. And why stop with Megyn Kelly? I mean, like I said, give me a John Cass. Give me a Megyn Kelly. Give me a Michael Goodwin. You know, give me some old timers. Not these modern kids. You know, I do not want to see Caitlin Collins do an interview with Kamala Harris. I don't know which would be worse, Kamala's answers or all the slobbering you have to clean up off the floor from where Caitlin Collins and they're going in front of Kamala Harris. Good God. Ooh, darling. Yeah. And how many stories do y'all know like this? Or I'll put to you this way. In your neighborhoods, your local churches, you know, the civic organizations that you're part of, etc. How many people do you know that for various reasons they would never tell you, but you can tell by the look in their eyes what they're suffering through? Or you've got some idea they've got a burden. I mean, just like Brenda. I mean, trust me. You know, I'm not going to say I'm the biggest man about town, but I walk around, I see people, and maybe they don't necessarily tell me everything that's going on in their lives, but you can just tell they're just hurting. Blocked Ad Runner over on Rumble says Kamala won't go in front of anyone she can't play with. Bingo. Yeah, it's heartbreaking. I mean, I've always said for years, people want to vote for something. They don't want to vote against. Don't get me wrong. I know negative campaigning works. God, it's been working for years. I get it. But down in the heart and soul of everybody, doesn't matter if you're American or what nationality around the world you are, people are aspirational. They're aspirational and they're inspirational. They're aspirational in that they want to be a part of something. They want to vote before something. And they want to be inspired to be part of it and for it. The other night, Kamala had a chance to explain to people why they should be for her, and she punted. She blew it. Why? She went after Trump. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're on a debate stage with your opponent, yeah, you should go after your opponent. But there are ways of doing it, and there are ways of doing it. If all it is just her harping on everything she doesn't like about Donald Trump, independents apparently got turned off, and they got turned off so bad, check this out. Rasmussen's daily tracking polling. And according to Rasmussen as of last night, and again, it's Rasmussen's daily tracking poll, Trump's got a 6-point lead, and that's 2 days after the debate. Matter of fact, let me get out of the screen. You can see it. There you go. That's better. Yeah, there you go. On the day of the debate, Rasmussen had Trump with a 5-point lead. The day after the debate, it tightened up, and then it spread back out. So here sort of begs the question. Yeah, Trump had a bad debate night. Ain't no doubt about that. But did Kamala really help herself? Folks, I'm not so sure that she did. As a matter of fact, and Gypsy, this one's for you. I saw a poll today out of Michigan where, and it's a good pollster. I mean, when I say good pollster, if Barris says they're okay, all right, I'll take a look at them. But Mitchell Research out of Michigan, Kamala and Trump are tied, dead even. The last poll that Mitchell did on Michigan, Kamala had a 1-point lead. I said she'd have to do something to slow down his momentum or change the momentum. She hasn't done it, folks. She just hasn't. And now the problem is everybody's focusing on one set of messaging, which we're about to get to here in a minute. And this is not helping Kamala or the Democrats. Okay, let us get into our next topic of the night. But before we do, let me do a really quick commercial. TBA says, ain't no way that Kamala has any lead on Trump in Michigan. No way in hell. Dude, I don't disagree with you. I'm just telling you what I saw. So there you go. Anyway, let me do a real quick commercial for the benefit of those here and for the benefit more particularly of people who are not here, but you soon will be. Why will you be here? Because you will soon be becoming a part of Fedora Nation. Why are you going to become part of Fedora Nation? Because you're going to join my channel on Rumble and YouTube. And who am I, you ask? Well, so glad you did. My name is Brian Trippett. I am the Front Porch Conservative, and this is Chattin on the Porch. Normally, we get together Monday through Thursday night, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, Courtney, and we kind of hang out together, talk, and do our thing. So if that's the sort of thing you enjoy, and believe me, I love my audience. You guys are cool beyond all belief. If that's the sort of thing you like, go ahead and subscribe to my channel on Rumble and YouTube. Besides, you've been lurking around anyway, watching me do this stuff. You know you want to go and subscribe. Just go ahead and give in. Besides, all the cool kids are doing it. Believe me, everybody in both of these chats will tell you that. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Leave some comments below. Hit the thumbs up button by all means. And go ahead and share the link. All right. Let us shift gears. Oh, goodness. Oh, God. I just saw this. He was telling me he was trying to start up a car deal. Oh, God. Dang. It doesn't have to be like this, folks. I mean, if he's doing it because he wants to, then I say let him pursue his dreams. But if he's doing it because of this economy, God. Anyway, I said that Kamala did not achieve much, if any, of her objectives the other night in the debate, and I really do believe that to be true. And a lot of it has to do with that now legendary line from the debate that Donald Trump got off. Okay. Oh, you live in Wisco. Ah, well. Hello, Miss Brenda. We's glad to have you here as always. And by all means, your state's we're going to be keeping a big eye on that thing going into election day. Because I tell you what, Wisco is one of the three wise men of the Midwest. So we're going to be keeping an eye on Wisconsin faux show. So, by the way, hey, you guys are playing, isn't University of Wisconsin playing Bama this weekend? I thought I heard that. Let me know how the football score turns out. Don't worry, I'll find out sooner or later. But yeah, if the Badgers are playing the Crimson Tide, that's going to be a pretty good game, I think. Well, we'll see. Anyway, sorry, folks. It's college football season, and some habits die hard. All right. Donald Trump's legendary line from the debate the other night. They're eating the dogs and cats. Now, official Washington and the official journalistic corp curled up their collective nose at that statement. And they're like, I can't believe Donald Trump's saying this. But did you notice something funny after the debate? Everybody's talking about this. Everybody. Now, we say eating the dogs and cats. This audience knows, well, that's a reference to what's going on in Springfield, Ohio, which is now got 20,000 more Haitians who were put there on temporary protection status by the Biden administration in a town of 60,000 people. And taking 20,000 Haitians and sticking them in a town of 60,000 people is not working out very well at all. And there are reports from citizens of Springfield, Ohio, that family pets are coming up missing. Big time. Okay? Big time. Okay? As a matter of fact, ever since that night, the memes and the videos have been absolutely glorious. As a matter of fact, let me show you one right now. This is just cute as can be. Look at that. All right, I know 3 cats are voting for Donald Trump. Notice I didn't say 3 people. I said 3 cats. Look at that. I mean, and I've been talking about this for a little while, and I know I'm probably, proving how much of an old fart I am with this topic whenever I go into it. But to me, memes are fascinating. I mean, like I said, I grew up, with the political cartoon in the op-ed page of the paper. That was how you communicated what was going on, okay, or what some cartoonist thought was important, and you wanted to let you give an opinion on it. He'd draw a cartoon. We're doing that now with memes. WWG1 says, I'm sure the cats were already sent an absentee ballot. That's great. Oh, gosh. Okay, fair enough. But hang on a second. I'll agree with you. But hang on a second. I'll make a counterpoint on that here in a minute. And good evening, Professor. Glad to have you here as always. But there are memes and videos and all kinds of stuff flowing around here. Okay? So you got that one. Let me show you another one. Here's one that I just think is wrong in so many different ways, but there's not a word said in this. But the image, yeah. You see what I'm talking about here? And I'll get to my point here in a second. I just want to show you some of these, all right? Now, this one, and I have no idea of this guy's politics. You guys know that the actor Hank Azaria has voiced many different characters on The Simpsons, right? I mean, I couldn't even begin to tell you how many different characters that he's done on that show over the course of 3 decades, okay? But, and again, and I don't know his politics. I have no idea what Hank Azaria's politics are like. But even he's getting in on this thing. This one's kind of cute. So with that, I got one for you. It's not necessarily a meme, but you see where this is going. Do me a favor, check this out.
Springfield Police, Chief Clancy Wiggum speaking. How can I help you? People are eating dogs? What, you mean like hot dogs? Oh, cats. Mr. Katz is eating hot dogs. Nah. People are eating dogs and cats. People are eating dogs and cats in Springfield. Are they good?
Now, like I said, I have no idea of Hank Azaria's politics. Couldn't tell you. I have no idea why he did it. But it's funny. One more, and yeah, have you guys seen this? The cat dance. Have you guys heard about this? I just found this thing today. I've heard about it. I hadn't seen it yet. I'm going to play part of it. Have you guys heard about this one?
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dog.
Okay, I'm not going to play the whole thing, but you get my point. Now, I do agree with Christian. All right. There is a distraction here. I get it. Okay. I agree. Can we please talk about the effects of either illegal immigration or this temporary protected status? We're focusing on one thing, and yes, I agree. We're focusing on the fact that there are reports of dogs and cats being eaten, and legitimate reports, by the way, not ABC calling the city manager. I get it. Okay. But, and this is a good point. You never know what strikes a populist. The dogs and cats and ducks struck a nerve with a large swath of America. Yeah. There's ridiculous stuff like this, the eat the cat dance that's going on. Okay. But it's leading to discussions about, well, what the heck is this eating the cat and dog thing all about? Have you heard what's going on in Springfield, Ohio? These Haitians, they're supposedly, they're like, they're going around in vans and they're rounding up dogs and cats, the people of, the town. And it gives up, and again, and I understand with the argument, but it gives us an opening to talk about, this is why you don't have uncontrolled immigration. This is why you don't let multi-millions of people across your border, because you cannot let that many people across the border and allow for assimilation. Well, yeah, and Christian, I get where you're coming from on this. I do. I understand. The next step in this is, okay, the dogs or cats are being eaten. Why are the dogs and cats are being eaten? Because you got two different populations that have nothing to do with one another. One of them is American, which believes in the rule of law and privacy and property, including your pets. Another culture over here believes in God only knows what, voodoo, if you're listening to Marianne Williamson on this topic. They're going around eating cats and dogs, supposedly. They're destroying property. They're wrecking cars. Kids aren't. I heard a story the other day, and I've seen the clip of it. I just didn't have it pulled up, but I've heard this story. A mother took her child to school for orientation just before class was getting started. Classes started for the year. She was informed by the school that she would have to hire an interpreter. Now, before you say anything, just hear me out. Hear me out on this, okay? The reason that the school told her that the mother would have to hire an interpreter is because every other kid in the class spoke any other language other than English. Let me say that again. According to this, it was the child's grandfather that was being interviewed. According to the grandfather, this child, the school told the mother that her child was the only child in class that spoke English. And therefore, we're going to have to get an interpreter of some kind. This is because of what we're doing on either illegal immigration or this temporary protected status of the Haitians. But the thing that set off the whole conversation, well, yeah, this is a good point. Not English, Creole is becoming the dominant language of Springfield, Ohio. Not English, not the language of the American nation, the language of Haiti. And this mother, and I think the most galling part for me was not the fact that an interpreter is going to have to be hired, which I think is galling enough, but the school was going to make the mom pay for it. In what universe does that even begin to make any sense? Seriously. That is just straight crazy. This is madness. But to me, the irony of it is, why are we even talking about what's going on in Springfield, Ohio? Which, by the way, it's not confined to Springfield. I mean, there are reports of this same sort of thing, not necessarily the dog and cat aspect of it, but the clashing of cultures that are going on in small towns all across America, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, Michigan. This is madness, and it's now reached the point. But the thing that finally broke through, and it's the craziest thing it's the craziest thing in the world. One line in a debate, and I'm not trying to give Donald Trump or make him out to be some, communications genius here. That's not my point. But my point is this: Donald Trump makes a comment about they're eating the dogs and cats, and all of a sudden everybody's looking at everybody goes out to Google like Haitians eating dogs and cats, assuming Google's being honest, and that's a big stretch. You get my point. Google is saying, yeah, here's some stories about stuff that's supposedly happening in Springfield, Ohio. And they're reading like, hey, 20,000 Haitians, town of 60,000 Americans, destruction of cars, kids having to, Creole becoming the dominant language. What the hell is going on? And Americans are sitting here going, wait a second, this is crazy. All from one line in a debate. And yeah, you never quite know what it is that communicates something that you want to get out there. It's absolutely nuts. Good evening, Maddie. Yeah. Like I said, I think this is the part that one of the things about the whole situation that galls me the most. But even beyond that, another point. To go back to what Christian just said. Creole is becoming the dominant language of this town. It's not an issue that the Haitians are assimilating to American culture. American culture is being made to assimilate to the Haitians. And I'm sorry, this is wrong. I was wondering what Dewey's role was in this. Okay. That makes sense. It's just nuts. But and to give you, have I got one more here? Yeah, to give you kind of an update about what's going on in Springfield, I've got a clip here, and I'm not going to play all of it, but according to this post, this is from a former state legislator who represented Springfield and Clark County, shares shocking details about the migrant crisis. Kyle, let's see. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and play the clip. So with that, check this out. We're not going to play the whole thing. It runs 6 minutes. We'll play part of this.
Yeah, I just saw this on my Facebook page because I am fairly local to Springfield, Ohio. So I'm going to read something to you. My name is Kyle Kaler, and I am a former state representative for Springfield, Ohio, and the Clark County area. I am currently a candidate for the state Senate covering Clark, Greene, and Clinton counties. Over the last 4 years, Haitians who are crossing the border or in fact flown to our country as refugees have been given temporary protected status by the federal government. Under the Biden-Harris administration, they not only are protected, but they are given between $600 to $1,600 a month on debit cards through the Refugee Cash Assistance Program and allowed access to all public assistance programs available to U.S. citizens. Since early 2020, a temporary staffing company in Springfield started actively bringing Haitian refugees to our city. First a few hundred, then thousands. As of this month, our local Job and Family Services has registered over 20,000 Haitian refugees in our county and city. Springfield, which had a steady population of about 58,000, now has an additional 20,000 new residents in and around Springfield, 20,000 people in just under 4 years. Our public school system, with just over 8,000 students, suddenly has over 1,600 non-English speaking students. 19-year-old Haitian men and women are being enrolled as high school freshmen and are in a class with 13-year-old boys and girls.
Oh, God.
The staffing company that started this migration, in quotation marks, is owned by a man that has over 63 rental properties in the Springfield area. Instead of getting the normal $600 to $800 in rent each month, he rents cots for $250 a month to as many as 20 to 25 Haitians per home. He charges them $25 for round trips to work each day. They work under contracts, preventing them from being hired full-time at their place of employment. This and the barrier of not speaking English causes them to become basically indentured servants, in my opinion. Since no one over the age of 18 requires a driver's license in Ohio, driver's education in Ohio, Haitians are allowed to take the permit test with an interpreter who basically gives them all the answers. Since permit in Haitian language of Creole is interpreted as permission, most never take the actual driving test. This means hundreds of Haitians who cannot speak English and have no idea what the driving laws actually say are now causing accidents all over their community. There are Facebook pages created by individuals dedicated to reporting accidents involving Haitians. The number of overturned cars being reported each day on the streets where the speed limits are 35 miles per hour or less would shock you. 1 year ago, a Haitian man pulled in front of a school bus, causing the bus to overturn, ejecting children, and resulting in the death of one 11-year-old student. Our county health department has reported an increase in HIV cases over the last 5 years. Based on our country health department based on their numbers, we will hit an increase at 871% over the previous 5 years. Nurses have confirmed that an entire wing of our regional hospital has nothing but Haitian patients being treated for HIV. A delivery nurse reports that 70% of all scheduled cesareans are for Haitian women who cannot deliver naturally because of HIV. TB cases are up over 500% for the same period. Our federally qualified healthcare, FQHC, called Rocking Horse, is overwhelmed with the increase of Haitians that are automatically qualified for Medicaid services. Our public safety officials have confirmed that charges against most Haitians who break the law are almost immediately dismissed because of lack of translators, meaning that the courts cannot provide speedy trial, so they are simply arrested and released. City, county, and state leaders are overwhelmed with complaints that they can do very little about fixing. Last month, a group calling themselves Blood Tribe marched past a jazz and blues festival carrying large swastika flags and rifles. Their leader showed up last week at a city commission meeting and publicly warned the mayor of impending savagery if he didn't stop the migration of Haitians into our community. Not cool.
I'm going to stop it right there. But I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I'm just sitting here getting my blood pressure's going up. I dropped a link in both Rumble and YouTube. Guys, share it around if you want to, but I'll tell you what, this is just, and I'm not saying anything you guys aren't already thinking, but I'm just going to go and express it. This is madness. This is absolute madness, what we're doing here. This is crazy. Just absolutely crazy. I don't get it. Well, no, I do get it. This is an invasion. But the worst part about it is our own government's doing it to us. Nuts. Just nuts. Oh, boy. Okay, I tell you what. I've got a few other things, but I'm going to save them for tomorrow. And tomorrow's going to be kind of like again, much like this, kind of casual. Normally, I have like a Thursday's my last regular stream, and then Saturday morning's the weekend. So we're going to be doing this back to back. We're going to be back 10:30 in the morning, okay, for Front Porch Brunch. And I want to thank you guys for stopping in on a Friday night. So thanks for being here, you guys. Love you very much. And you guys have a great rest of your Friday evening. Thanks for the chat, the memes, and everything else. We will be back 10:30 tomorrow morning. And yeah, and this is the best point of it all. It's not about race. It's a clash of cultures. It's an absolute clash of cultures. Anyway, love you guys. I will see you 10:30 a.m. tomorrow morning on Rumble, on YouTube, on Twitter. And in the meanwhile, you guys have a great night. And here's to faster horses. I'll talk to you later.